I don't even like wine, but guess what? You're gonna like it. I need some cheese.
What's up, guys? It's Barnabas, aka Mac and Cheese, bringing you a game, or basically a strategy video on the map Seatown. So there's obviously two separate spawn traps you can do here, A trap and C trap, and I wanted to just basically kind of talk about this map because a lot of people seem to struggle with it. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies here, and I thought it'd be beneficial to just kind of give a quick little run through on it. So the A trap is probably the best trap. Now the red line that I've drawn here is a do not cross line. You want to position your team anywhere, you know, on the top of the map, but do not cross this red line. Imagine there's an imaginary line there. If you cross that line, the computer's going to potentially spawn the opposing team behind you, and your teammates are going to get shot in the back. That's never good, right? So there's that imaginary line there. You just kind of want to keep that in mind. This is kind of the general positioning that I would probably set up, or somewhere in the ballpark of this. The reason being is that there's a person in the middle who's got a lot of mobility. They can move all the way to the right if they need to. They can move all the way to the left and right through the middle if they need to. Then you've got the two guys basically towards the red line on the left and the right hand side that have a lot of nasty sight lines and are very hard to get past. And then you've got the guys in the back that are kind of floating around. And you need those guys in the back to float around, because if you don't have those guys in the back, then you will guarantee that the computer is going to spawn characters back behind there, because basically what the computer does is it looks for where opposing teammates are or enemies are, and if there's nobody in a general area, then it's going to try and spawn them there. So that's why you want to have two guys that can kind of float in the far backfield. It's not as fun, but it's definitely necessary to keep people in the back. You know, it's a role, right? If you can do that, you will then maintain these or guarantee that these top 3 spawn points will be pretty much locked in stone. You're going to keep those for the entire game. Now you'll probably get maybe 1 or 2 more towards the midfield, but those 3 in the back are going to be kept in stone. Now, what I kind of just did there is, let's say somebody went down, so two characters got killed or something. What you're going to do in that situation is, as soon as somebody goes down, you want to relay that information back to your team, and then the 2 people that are in the back push up forward and basically replace their positions, because they're obviously halfway to that point before the other person spawns. So just do a couple little arrows there. These guys are going to then obviously push up to those positions, take over that position, and then the guys that just got killed are going to obviously spawn most likely in those back 3 spawn positions. Then they can basically take up the role of floaters in the backfield, or kind of set up that role and take over that role. So that's just going to kind of keep a little an ebb and flow throughout the game for your team, and it's going to help you maintain the spawn trap for a longer period of time. People do get very impatient and they cross that yellow line. They're like, oh, I'm just going to ping, blah, blah, blah. You've heard me say this before, but you don't want to do that stuff. As soon as you cross that red line, that invisible red line, you run a very high risk of the other characters not spawning there. It's just the way the computer works. Now, if you can maintain the spawn trap, these bottom 3 blue spawns is guaranteed where they're going to spawn the entire match. Now, I've just kind of run through or just kind of showed some of these spots in a private match, just to kind of show you some pretty nasty sight lines and tricks. And, you know, that guy goes down, he jumps up, he gets up into this position. You got a good view of B. You can get guys that come up the ladder, and you can ping them as they're spawning back by A, right? You're also breaking lines of sight so that it's going to guarantee that they're going to spawn in that back position. This house is also a great place to basically hide out, because as guys spawn in red, you can get them coming out, and you've got a good view of B. And then this is the guy that's going to be down in the middle, who can either attack insert or basically stay down here, and he can watch these flanks. He can, you know, you're going to get call-outs, so you know, the guy down the middle can basically be anticipating, especially if somebody goes down, which direction they're coming from. And here's just a pretty nasty head glitch for this position. Now, let's talk about the opposite spawn trap, because it is doable to maintain a C spawn trap. It's not as nice. Oh, it's a little bit trickier to do, but it is possible to do. The hard part about that is because they're running through a lot of little hallways, it's easy to miss people. Whereas on the flip side, if you got them in the A spawn, they've got they've got to spawn from A, run in the direction of B in wide open spaces while you're in cover. So that's why the A trap is just a little bit nicer. But again, this one can be done. There's your imaginary line right there. This is your general positioning where people are going to be. It's pretty similar of a layout. You just basically, the other problem with this one is that you will run a slighter risk of having them spawn behind you, because chances are there's that red building that is in cover, and there's the little roundabout building that's in cover, and they could potentially, like right here, you've seen kind of where I've drawn. This is pretty much a guaranteed safe zone where they're not going to spawn once you're in these positions, but you'll see on the bottom right and the bottom left, you run a risk of having them spawn in there, so you guaranteed need to keep 1 or 2 guys in the back floating around those positions so that they don't spawn back there. Now again, I've just kind of illustrated here, what if some guys go down up front? What do, right? Obvious situation, you call it out. People that are in the mid positions can then move to a more highly trafficked position to cover those spots, and then the guys who went down, once they respawn, they can either move up or basically take up another position. You call out on the map, you need to communicate. That's what this game is about, teamwork, communication. By doing that, you'll maintain that spawn trap. And right here, again, I've just illustrated the fact that you do run a risk of those guys spawning back there. If you cross that red line, you're guaranteed those spawns are going to flip, and they're potentially going to spawn back in the red house or the little roundabout. But if you don't maintain some guy floating back there at all times, you run the risk there. This is the best case scenario. If you don't cross that red line and you maintain the spawn trap, this is where you can guarantee expect spawns to happen. So again, just kind of ran through a couple little spots where you can hide. That guy there can float between that and B, and then the next guy, obviously up top, you've got this little plant thing. As guys kind of funnel through there, you can take them out. You can jump up onto this ledge here, take guys out. You're a little bit exposed, but you can kind of catch people off guard by doing that. This also has a pretty nice thing, if somebody goes down or somebody says, oh, they got past me, they're on A, you can take cover, or you can take care of A, and you can kind of look through these windows and kind of head glitch these windows, which is pretty nasty as well if somebody tries to get past or whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much this map in a nutshell. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to post a gameplay on this map where we kind of dominate. I use a lot of these positions for cover, and but we don't necessarily maintain a strap, or we don't maintain a spawn trap, also known as a strap. For the most part, I do use a lot of those lines of sights to my advantage, and there should be a link up for that if you guys want to check out that video. And then if you guys could just leave me a comment, that would be great to know what you'd like to see next. If you want me to do another play-by-play, if you'd like me to post up Gears of War 3 content, if you want me to do more search and destroy, demolition, any sort of game types, I would love to hear what you guys would like to see or what you think would be most beneficial. I am going to be hopefully running some 2v2 game battles matches in the near future, so I will definitely be putting those up for you guys as well. I can record just in-game chat for that kind of stuff. Seems like that would be most beneficial to just let you listen into the callouts and whatnot. But yeah, as things go on, let me know what you guys think and what would be most beneficial to you, the viewers. And yeah, I hope you got something out of the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.